Welcome to Big Bend Country, a landscape of incredible sky islands jutting up out of complete flat nothingness. The prominence of these mountains is truly quite impressive because we are driving at maybe 4,500 feet right here now. The base of a lot of those is at under 3,000 feet, but they rise up to 5,000, 6,000. The Chihuahuan Mountains to 7,800 feet. So it is an extreme rise up out of the valley floors. It provides a lot of interesting habitat for some really cool animals. There probably won't be a whole lot moving during the day here, so we're just going to kind of visit and hang out in the national park for a little bit. But hopefully come nighttime there will be some cool stuff down near the river here. So for our exploration today, we're going to go a short ways up what's called the Lost Mine Trail out here in the Chihuahuas. This is an area where mountain lions and bears have been recorded, so one has to keep aware. As I sit here listening to, it's just deer, but noisy animals crashing through the brush over there. He knows I'm here too, I can see him from here. But he doesn't care. He's just wandering too. If I step right here, you guys can probably see him. Hello, deer. Deer doesn't care. But with a little luck, perhaps we might see some daytime active reptiles out here. Got a warbler here who is eating the first stick insect I have ever seen. That's unfortunate. I'm sure he knows what to do with the stick insect though. There's another little sparrow over here, some kind. Got a roadrunner. There he is. And there he goes. This is one of those places that I definitely recommend visiting if you ever get the chance to do so. The Chihuahuas Mountains are an awe-inspiring relic of ancient times. This island of mountains that is completely bound in a national park, and it's the only mountain range that is like that. It's a relic of the ice ages. The oak and pine woodlands in the top are remnants of what used to spread throughout the entire region until temperatures warmed up and the forest retreated up into this little pocket of mountains. There are still species here that were found widespread before, but now endemic species that are only known from these mountains that have been wiped out by the encroachment of the desert down below. Here's a view I've not had before. It's not quite as impressive as if you were standing on top of South Rim, which is way down over there, but this is up at 5,500, 6,000 feet in the Chihuahuas at least. Looking down south. Look very carefully, you might just see through the haze down there the Rio Grande winding through the valley. And off beyond that, all the many sky islands of north central Mexico. The actual center of habitat for many of the species that we're looking for here that only reach their northern limits in the plateaus of Texas. So looking one way, south from the Chizos through this valley. Look the other way, and you're looking down into the Chizos Basin, and way off that way are the Christmas Mountains out there. You got a couple of huge, very colorful lubber grasshoppers doing the nasty on the trail here. Not seen this species before. They look quite different from the ones we get in southeast Colorado, but they are quite large. It's a big bug. Well, at least there's one reptile that's active up here. Although it's kind of hard getting an angle to actually tell what species it is, because he climbed up a tree on a knot at an angle I really cannot see. Nice if we see at least something out here though. Alright, we convinced him to go a slightly different direction so we can actually see him. One of the Scoloporus. Well, just got word from another hiker. I saw a bear right at the start of the trail, which is where we're heading now. Not likely we'll see him since he's already moving off and away, but said it was a cub, so it's possible that Mom's still around somewhere. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out. Right there is the brightest colored earless lizard I have ever seen. And I'm not going to be able to get any close to him, I'm sure. It's the Texas greater earless lizard. And I see greens, pinks, blues on him. Good grief. So I paused here to wait for the sun to go down. We are on the west end of the southern border of Big Bend Ranch State Park. And I'll be passing through that road again as night falls. Something you don't see on maps and stuff, just looking down from above, is as you drive along that road just how incredible a canyon it actually is that you drive through. Replace the sandstone layers and such with lava rock, and it looks really similar, in fact, to some of the areas along the Colorado River in eastern Utah. It is quite a mountainous region, and I can see why rock lovers like Baird's rats, Trans-Pecos rat snakes, gray-banded king's lyre snakes like this area, because it is canyons, canyons, canyons and cliff faces as far as the eye can see. We're also watching to see what some of these clouds do, which direction they're going, because there's rain happening just like almost straight north of Terlingua, which might be good for later tonight. And if these clouds are passing southward, it might rain through the rest of the area and bring stuff out. Here's hoping. Now I'm going to have to double check which species this is, since there's two that are down here, but with that pattern, I'm hoping hoping this might just be a young reticulated banded gecko. Certainly he's got the build for it. If it is, it's a species that's endemic to just down here in the Big Bend region and is found nowhere else in the world. Kind of dangerous of him to be on the road like this. I had hoped, although on this trip the reticulate banded gecko eluded me, yet another reason to head back down there. But nevertheless, this is a new species. In previous videos we've actually seen the Tucson or the desert banded gecko, Coleonyx variegatus, out further west in Arizona, but the Texas banded gecko, as the name suggests, is found throughout much of West Texas and actually up in through portions of New Mexico as well. They're relatively small lizards, absolutely adorable, and more or less the North American shrunken version of the common leopard gecko that you see in pet stores. It's not much, but that is perhaps the tiniest Texas night snake I have ever seen in my life. Man, look at the size of him. He is so small. Glad we got at least something moving tonight, though. You guys are quite common, so I'm hoping most likely we'll see a few more. But this newly hatched little guy is definitely breaking the size record on small end for me. Amazing to believe he finds a lizard small enough to eat, even. Look at him. Alright, we're gonna move him off the road. Alright, here we go, dude. You're going across the road over here. Man, there is nothing out here, is there? Alright, sir. There you go. Run. And that is a much larger night snake on the side of the road. And perhaps a bit of a dangerous area since he's near some habitation. We don't know how the people will react to him. So we might encourage him to continue turning around. Come on, sir. Let's go. And there he goes. That is a much safer area for him. And the second cut-shined animal of the week is a big Oklahoma/Texas brown tarantula. Quite common out here. Whoop, he got something cool. Taking advantage of the lights. Anyway, there's a car coming. I'm gonna pause. So these guys in general are quite inoffensive creatures. The males especially, they come out at night to look for females and sometimes hunt. We are approaching the breeding season, particularly back home in Colorado. I wonder if he'll grab that moth too or not. But it's interesting how they feed too. They don't really have mouth parts with which to chew their food, so they have to basically liquefy it using the venom, and then they suck that out. But the venom doesn't really do a whole lot to us. In fact, worse when it comes to tarantulas is the fact that they'll kick the hairs on their abdomen into your face and make you really itch. They're called urticating hairs because they dig into your skin and cause irritation. Anyway, we're going to leave this guy be and see if there's any reptiles out here. So I think, in comparison to this one, we can say the first one was probably a female, being it was a much bigger, chunkier animal. This guy is a bit smaller, longer legs. He's catching all the bugs that are attracted by the light. So that's probably a young male right there. He's waiting for the next bug that flies by. He's trying. You can hear him crunching on it with the fangs. That's cool. We have another bigger snake out here. It's some kind of rattler. Let's see. Well. That's a nice looking diamondback, actually. So we got this beautiful diamondback out here. At least, well, actually. Oh, that facial stripe is kind of suspicious. That curves back like that. This might be a Mojave. I think I'm gonna have to go with Mojave on this one, actually, looking at that. Let's see. What do your head scales look like? Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Mojave on this one. So, one of the less common snakes out here, although they can still be encountered pretty frequently. They are at kind of their easternmost range within the Big Bend region, at least here in the U.S. They do continue a little further east as they follow the mountain ridges down in Mexico, in the prairies in between. Beautiful animals. Some of the distinctions that you'll find between them and Diamondbacks is they often have those slightly darker blotches on their back with the really dark outlines, but more so, the Mojaves have larger scales in between the eyebrows, the ocular scales, supraoculars, and they have that eye stripe. It actually goes down and connects kind of behind the end of the jaw. This guy's weird because it dips downward before it goes back. And then they have a tail where the white bands tend to be a lot broader than the black. Anyway, this guy's going to be a grump when we try and convince him to move off the road. So we'll just leave this here. So we have convinced him that it's safest to go off the road and away from the car. More or less, at least. Beautiful snake. I'm gonna have to double check just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that one's a Mojave. We got another somebody out here. And that is much more clearly a Mojave. Look at that. So we seem to be doing doubles tonight. This is much more clearly a Mojave, and he is, by the arching of the back, already preparing to react much more like they usually do. See that gorgeous pattern down his back? Weird looking bands on the tail. And he's getting ready to be just a right true grump. Luckily he's on the side of the road, he's just kind of cruising along the side of the road, so hopefully all we need to do to get him to move is kind of be a bother right nearby. Come on, sir. Off the road. We'll convince him soon enough anyway. That is a gorgeous snake. Love the pattern that goes down their backs like that. Kind of fading near the tail. Pretty healthy one too, that's nice to see. And he didn't make any noise until he came off the road. Now he's gonna be a right true grump. Whoa! God damn! Well, he's definitely all over the road. Oh, this guy is unbelievably tiny. He is so small. That is one of the smallest that is the smallest longnose I've ever seen. He's freshly hatched. I'll put hand up for scale. He's as small almost as the little night snake we saw earlier. Come here, you. Whoa, and he's a jumper. Hold on, sir. We want to get a look at you, okay? Where the camera can pick up some color. Come here. 1 second, okay? There we go. So yeah, this is definitely this year's newborn baby. We got a coyote calling somewhere in the distance too. So that is as small as they start out as. He is so tiny. Beautiful little bits of red. Texas longnose. Anyway, he was moving off the side of the road, so we're just gonna put him right out over here. It's another long nose. Look at that. And we got long nose number 2, who's also probably gonna jump as soon as I touch him to move him off the road. Not quite as much jump, but still a gorgeous little animal. Look at those reds. Yeah, sir, hold on. Just gonna get you off over here, okay? Must have been a nest somewhere nearby. Boom, there he goes. Finally found me a stick insect. And something chewing on stuff in the background. I guess either a javelina or a raccoon. Check this guy out. If I can convince him to get on the hand. There we go. Look at him go. And now he's on the other hand. Oops, and now he's on the grass. Such a weird creature. So weird that the camera won't focus on him. There we go. What a strange animal. So it seems creepy noises and things happening on cuts is pretty commonplace for me now, because there was whatever it was chewing on in the background. I have no idea what. Yesterday, I didn't make a mention of it in the last video, but there was something with a fairly large head and 2 very glowy eyes that I encountered on a little rock wall that I decided not to stick around and find out what it was, because mountain lions are known in the area, and although more likely than not it was just like a deer or something, that's one animal, the mountain lion, that I don't feel like tangling with at all. So, and on this cut here, it looks so nice. It clearly rained recently, but there's nothing out. But there's elk somewhere in the background that are bugling. That's something else you don't really want to mess with, elk and rut. So let's hope the next section is a little better and quieter. Guy looks a little more alive than the last one did. And that is a gorgeous, gorgeous diamondback. Look at him. Good photo. So looking at this guy, you can probably see my confusion with that first rattlesnake of tonight. Those dark diamonds look pretty similar, and he does that same odd fadey thing into stripes near the tail. But that is a very distinctly diamondback patterned tail. And if we look at his head, you can see how the eye stripe drops right down over the mouth and doesn't really curve back in any way. And if we were able to look really close, the camera doesn't like that idea right now apparently, we would see that he has a lot of tiny little scales on his head between his eyes rather than big plates. And that's probably the most reliable diagnostic feature. Ooh, get off me, bug. Do not crawl in my shirt. This guy has just started to come across the road here, so we'll try and make sure that he gets across safely. Also, if you look at that eye, rattlesnakes do have vertically elliptical pupils. But at night, you would never know it. Because those pupils, like all nocturnal animals, will dilate to let in as much light as they can so they can see at night. And that's really all the pupil shape will tell you at any given time, is if you see it during the day, in bright light, and it's slit, it means the snake is nocturnal. Doesn't mean the snake is venomous necessarily, because we have plenty of non-venomous nocturnal snakes with the same look. So we'll make sure he gets across safely. So I kind of had to stop and get a view of this. Just coming up over the horizon is the half moon. And it won't show too well in the video, but it is brilliant orange to my view. Okay, that is a lot of detail that I can see on that thing right now. That is incredible. That's what you get for being out in an area where there is so little human habitation. There is very little light pollution. It's hard to see him. There goes a porcupine out into that empty lot out there. He was on the road a second ago. Well, no surprise, we got another diamondback. Still doing the doubles, apparently. You were just about to start crossing, dude. Alright. Come here. Let's make sure you get across the road. There you go. Got a little juvenile this time. Yep, baby diamondback. And he's got a meal in him too, so definitely want to make sure he gets off the road. Over there, sir. You want to go that way. Okay? Go that way. And we've got yet another diamondback who might be following the scent of that rodent that got hit. Come on, dude, you were coming this way. Whoa. Come on. You see, they're relatively quiet and will go their own way as long as you let them. I don't know, dude. Use the light to try and gauge him off. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, go that way. There you go. What a pretty animal. So quiet. I'm going to take this rodent and kind of toss it off in case that's what he was following. That way, he might find it. And what do you know? Another young diamondback. Come on, sir. Last year's baby, not this year's. Oh. Come on. Come on. Just want you off the road in the direction you were going. You got just enough rattle to make noise, but not quite enough sense to go where it's safe. Go on. No, go that way. Go that way. Silly. Well, that wraps today up. If we count the gecko, then we do have one new species for the channel. And though we didn't see any new snake species tonight, and everything was familiar faces, thanks to the diamondbacks, no surprise, we kind of hit it out of the park with numbers at the end there. Tomorrow we are shifting a little bit to a rather different environment for a couple of days before kind of heading a little bit back further west for another chance at some of the species that we see around here. So we'll see if that turns out. We are heading, though, tomorrow to start off into the range of the famous Texas indigo snakes. Fingers crossed we might see them or some of the other cool species that come within range in that area. But until then, if you enjoy seeing videos like this, wildlife adventures, educational and otherwise, and you'd like to help support, do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/hcarlton. Members there get exclusive benefits back, including early access to the videos, seed contests, exclusive merchandise, and more. Or you can donate at Ko-fi. The link for that will be in the description for the video below. If you don't really want to support in that way, but maybe you'd like to buy something, check out the website, carltoncarnivores.com, where all the plants and stuff that I have for sale are listed. And if you can't help out financially, simply giving attention to the channel here and the social media accounts always helps. Like the video, share it, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you'd like to see more information, tidbits, and so on, you can find the database and blog at the website, carltoncarnivores.com. And you can always find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Carlton Carnivores. But until next time, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.